Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. So we've got a new Lords of the Fallen update. The big focus here is save data, entitlement status, and making sure progress does not get messed up in co-op sessions. And yeah, that is exactly the sort of thing you want to patch to handle before it becomes a bigger headache. The main issue this update is dealing with is a save bug tied to the Free Friends Pass setup. In some cases, a save that should have stayed marked as a Free Friends Pass save could incorrectly turn into a full entitlement save after playing in shared co-op. That might sound like one of those technical details you can ignore, but for anyone who has spent time in a co-op run, you already know how important it is that the game remembers what kind of access that save is supposed to have. If that status gets flipped the wrong way, it can create confusion, weird behavior, and in the worst case, it can make a playthrough feel busted, even when the actual gameplay itself is fine. So the good news here is that the devs updated the save handling system, so it now preserves the original entitlement status properly. That means the game should stop second guessing what that save file is supposed to be. Even better, they also said they went back and repaired affected saves from before this hotfix. That is the part that stands out to me the most because it is one thing to say a new bug is fixed going forward, but it is a much better sign when a studio also looks at the players who already got hit by it and tries to clean that up too. If you were worried that a damaged save meant starting over, the patch notes say you should be able to keep going with your existing playthrough instead of throwing everything away and restarting from scratch. That alone makes this update more important than it might look from the outside. Games like this live and die on progression. People put hours into a run, they build up gear, they unlock stuff, they get through bosses, and the last thing they want is to have the whole thing get weird because a save file changed state when it was not supposed to. So even if this patch does not sound exciting on a surface level, it is the kind of maintenance that keeps the whole experience from turning into a mess later. There are also a couple of older fixes mentioned in the notes that are worth pointing out. One is from an earlier patch where the tutorials button in character creation could not be selected when using a controller. That is a very specific issue, but is also the kind of thing that can be annoying right away if you are trying to set up a character and the menu is not behaving properly. Another fix was for an incorrect text string that appeared when paying Kukajin's invoices. Not a giant gameplay change, sure, but little interface and text problems like that can make the game feel less polished than it should. Seeing those cleaned up is still a nice touch. What I think is interesting about this update is that it tells you where the game's priorities are right now. It is not trying to distract people with a huge feature drop. It is tightening the screws on the stuff that can quietly ruin a session. Co-op stability, correct save behavior, and basic polish are the kinds of things that do not always get the biggest reaction online, but they make a real difference once you are actually playing for a while. If you have ever had a save issue in a game like this, you already know how much that can throw off your whole mood. One weird bug can be more frustrating than 5 minor combat tweaks. So overall, this patch is really about stability and protection. It is about making sure the game respects your progress, keeps your save status intact, and does not force players into unnecessary resets because of a technical hiccup. That might not sound exciting in the usual trailer sense, but for an actual playthrough, it is the stuff that keeps the experience smooth. And in a game with this much progression, that matters a lot more than people sometimes give it credit for.